You are not Jackie Robinson, and I'm not going to treat you as such. And we're having these conversations like you're the first white woman to ever play in the WNBA, and that you're getting bullied and everyone hates you. You are not going through what most people went through at all. The struggle is not there. The racism is not there in the terms of which it was. We're gonna sit up here and act like this is a race thing. KP did not have the same issues. Sue Bird did not have the same issues, but they went through the same things. You know what I mean? Like, you're just seeing it. That's the difference. No one saw Sue Bird go through the things Sue Bird went through. No one saw KP struggle in Las Vegas when no one gave a fuck about Vegas before Asia Wilson was Asia Wilson. No one talked about those things before Becky Hammon got there because no one cared. No one gave a fuck about the league, and that's what it is. You're seeing now what we've seen for years. Point blank, period.
Two things can be true. Both of these players have really been responsible for getting the WNBA kind of lit. If you don't know me, my name is Ahmad K. Smith. Worked in the sports industry for almost a decade. Worked for the Brooklyn Nets. Worked for the NBA. Served as Slam's first talent for their first ever basketball podcast. Caitlin Clark come in. We know her aura. We know her potential. We know she's generated a lot of revenue off rip for the WNBA and also for the Indiana Fever because of her impact and also because of her play on the basketball court. She's created a new fandom within the sport just because people want to watch her play, and got people whose eyes never been on the WNBA watching WNBA games and following WNBA games as well, and not just her, for other players also. Then we look at Angel Reese. She done the same thing. She got rappers, she got celebrities, she got black women being interested in, more black women being interested in watching the WNBA because of her beauty, because of her fashion, because of her being able to articulate her opinions and speak her mind and speak her truth whenever she feels like it, and not really be scared to do so. She's gotten a whole new fan base as well. So that all helps with the popularity and also creating the WNBA to kind of skyrocket and then become more mainstream, where we see conversations with StephenASmith and Monica McNutt on First Take, where we see conversations on social media constantly talk about WNBA. Now that's the stuff that a lot of people like and a lot of people enjoy. But for people that just love basketball and love to watch the WNBA and just love to watch the NBA or in basketball in general, let's talk about the on-court stuff. Because from what my eyes tell me and what my eyes have shown me so far, Caitlin Clark just wants to play basketball. Caitlin Clark is coming on as a rookie. She's done a lot of great things. She's done a lot of things that she's going to have to work on her game. She needs an in-between game. She needs a floater. She needs to start learning how to take what the defense is giving her and not just forcing up threes at times. And I feel like she will improve on that. Angel Reese, as great as she is as a rebounder, it's just kind of like she needs to work on finishing with her dominant hand and also her non-dominant hand around the basket. You can't be a big man and shoot so poorly from the field. If she doesn't develop, at best, she can become a Dennis Rodman type of player for the WNBA, which is a future Hall of Famer. Somebody that's off the court, says what's on their mind, fashion icon, and also, you know, that tenacious energy and defense that she can bring on a basketball team is very, very valuable. If she doesn't develop any type of offensive game going forward, if she has a career like that, that's a successful career. Caitlin Clark, if she has a successful career where she's just this point guard that can shoot threes and also that can facilitate, that's going to be a successful career. That's going to be a Hall of Fame career as well. So I think both these ladies have a lot of potential. I think both these ladies have done a tremendous job in boosting the popularity of the league. It's unfortunate that we have some toxic conversation. We have some people that are just tuning into the WNBA and creating a lot of narratives or trying to make things into a quote-unquote race war and whatnot. But I would say we got to cut through that noise and we just got to celebrate what's really happening, even, you know, some of the bad things to go along with the good things, as well as focus on their on-court production as well.
Weighing in. She is the other big star right now in WNBA. Listen.
People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role. The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Well, she's talking about the championship game a
that
year
they
ago,
were both a part
LSU versus Iowa, and LSU prevailed. But to your earlier point, there was an incident recently. Alyssa Thomas, who happens to be African-American, grabbed Angel Reese by the throat and threw her to the floor. Flagrant 2, ejected from the game. The reason why that doesn't spark as much conversation isn't just that Caitlin Clark is a bigger star than Alyssa Thomas. It's because it's a black-on-black incident, and you don't have that dynamic that people can comment on, yes, but also exaggerate and make the entire story sometimes.
And also,
that is really that is between
no
the
one
lines.
cared about the WNBA when women of a certain color were beating up and bruising each other, because it's been happening since the league's inception. We have this star, this person that people love. They want to protect her. So now the new fans and the new analysts and the new people have so much to say. Bob, thank you for saying that and acknowledging that, because you're a legend in this sport. And you are also gracious enough to say, look, I do know from the history and what I do know, this is why she is being treated this way, and why no one cares about
I've seen it in every sport.
I mean,
a newcomer is tested and to some extent resented.
Be sure to follow the Chat with Miss Hollywood on all social media platforms to catch up with the latest trending and breaking celebrity news happening now.
Good evening, people. Taking my last walk for the day. So listen, I've been making more posts about this WNBA crap than anything else. I just did a reply to some guy on YouTube. I went and checked out his channel. And up until 2 months ago, he wasn't even talking about the WNBA. So I asked him a couple questions. Are you doing this for clickbaits? Because when the Fever beat the Sky the other night, it was Kelsey Mitchell, the guard, who led the team in scoring. I don't see nothing you saying anything about her. When the Liberty crushed the Fever and held Caitlin Clark to 3 points, you didn't say nothing about the girls defensively locking her down. Now, y'all want to sit up here and talk about all this brutalization of Caitlin Clark. Remember, player from the Liberties grabbed Angel Reese by the throat and slammed her to the floor. I don't see anything on your page about that. So you're not a basketball fan. Your Caitlin Clark fans are the worst. Just last night, Skylar Diggins Smith was hit in the face, nose bled. And then you got the audacity to call Kennedy Carter a little girl. She's a grown-ass woman, 30-something years old. You disrespectful. Pat McVie, he think he was going to get away with calling Caitlin Clark a white bitch because I guess he thought white privilege is working. He had to apologize. But I'm going to say this to all you fake Caitlin Clark posters, bloggers. You're not a basketball fan. I just look at another idiot talking about Caitlin Clark when she played the Sky, you had the highest rating. Listen. Majority of people's coming to see her lose. Let's talk about the Fever record 2-9, and let's not blame the players. Okay? Let's talk about Caitlin Clark hitting Kennedy Carter in her face and chit-chatting her mouth off. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Kate Martin, who played with her in Iowa, will get a ring before she will. You talking nobody's watching the Aces. Well, ding back. All 3 games last night got played. The capacity crowd of the arena was filled. Y'all looking at TV ratings. So what? People sitting on their ass at home. I watched the games last night. You playing a person, Chicago Sky, in the Fevers. This is Van Silk with WNBA Ballers. I'm back. Rock Bottom Sports. The Chicago Sky and the Fever is supposed to have big ratings. Let me remind some of y'all non-basketball fans. 2 years ago, none of y'all was talking about Caitlin Clark. None of y'all was even probably watching basketball because a lot of the Iowa games wasn't even packed. It all started the previous year with South Carolina versus Iowa. And it was a whole racist thing going on then because the black team claimed basically against an all-white team. You face LSU, Caitlin Clark did the hand gesture. Let's keep talking about it. And it was swag. No matter when Angel Reese did it, it was ghetto. You lost. Iowa lost to LSU. The only reason why y'all was in the finals this year is because the referee chose the game against Connecticut with the Kate Martin running into that pick. They had 10 seconds on the clock, and y'all didn't let them get a shot off because y'all know that we needed them. We needed them in the finals for ratings. That's all you did. I ain't got nothing against Caitlin Clark as a player. Yeah, she might flop a lot. Yeah, she might talk a lot of shit. But if you seal off her spots where she shoots from, what else can she do besides drive right? Because she can't drive left. Y'all come up with fake statistics. Oh, she the first person with 100 points in 10 games and this and that. Hey, listen, her record is 2-9. She never won a championship in college. She's not a GOAT in WNBA. Okay? And if they were to take the records from the AIC Basketball League and incorporate that like the Major League Baseball just did with the Negro League, Caitlin Clark would not be the all-time leader scorer. See, y'all want to play basketball facts? Let's talk basketball Jones. You have many players way before Caitlin Clark that was good and put the league on. This rookie class got a lot of exposure because of social media and because of what Angel Reese did. If Angel Reese would have never did that, it would have just been a regular old situation. But y'all rolled off that race-wise. I'm looking at all of y'all. Colin Howard, Pat McFaith. I'm looking at all y'all. I go back and look at y'all posts on your YouTube channel. None of y'all was talking about the WNBA 2 months ago. Now you got Nancy Lieberman coming out. Ain't nobody want to hear what you got to say. And now you got the coach from Connecticut. Oh, I got your back. Like Caitlin Clark ain't doing, and she's not innocent into none of this. What y'all are doing is 2-9. They're 11 games. They play against the Mystic on Friday, who have not won a game. The best player was Temi, and she's out. I don't hear none of y'all people talking about when Boston was, the center for the Fever was being threatened. I ain't see none of y'all bloggers, y'all Caucasian bloggers, ain't none of y'all stood up for her. Ain't none of y'all talked about Diggins Smith being thrown to the floor. Ain't nobody talked about the most dangerous play so far this year in the WNBA was Angel Reese, because y'all got hate. Y'all want Angel. First of all, let's put it this way. Fever's not going to the playoffs. Y'all been wanting to fire the coach. She had a losing record last year. Now you're trying to figure out a way to get her on the Olympic team. Okay? People are watching other games. Y'all just want to add numbers. Well, let's add this number. Fever's 2-9. They're in 10th place in the WNBA, or the 11th place. because the Sparks are over them. But see, y'all took it there. Y'all didn't keep it sports. I can see a lot of y'all sports people. Oh, and I ain't gonna forget Black and White 2, TOO. He's a straight cornball. Okay? There ain't no great white hope. She's a basketball player. And if you go look at it, she'll tell you. A lot of this wouldn't have happened because of Angel Reese. And Angel Reese say the same thing. But see, they cut Angel Reese's interview in half and not let her know there was others before her. Caitlin Clark's own father told her to shut up. You talk too much on the court. You complain too much. You got to build up. You're light in the ass. A lot of these black basketball players got thick bit derrieres, and you cannot compete when they bump you. All you do is flop like LeBron James. Now, if you were to be fair, can Caitlin Clark shoot? Yeah. Or why they double team her? It's called defense, stupid. What, they supposed to just let her score? This ain't college. This is the WNBA where women are playing for their position. At any given moment, a player can get cut. But I see what the WNBA is doing because they did the same shit 25 years ago. You got about 5 or 6 plays on the LA Sparks. This is Van Silk. I'm back, part 3. NBA ballers. And it is about race. There's a lot of black YouTubers that are for Caitlin Clark and understand the thing, but they also report basketball. I'm worried about y'all fans who are sensitive, don't even know who Cheryl Cooper is, Tina Thompson, Maya Moore. Y'all have no clue about those who made this league popular. Okay, the WNBA's been at fault for years. Okay? But I know one thing. Games I was watching last night was packed. I don't care how many people was watching on TV. That's none of my business. But whenever you have Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese going, it's going to be watched. You don't think Angel Reese pulling in fans? Let's talk about the Connecticut Sun, who are 8-0. Where's your reporting of the only undefeated team in the WNBA? Huh? I can't hear you. Y'all need to just report basketball. I bet you most of your Caitlin Clark fans can't even name 4 players that play for the Fever. It's sad that we got to live in a world today. I can guarantee you 90% of Caitlin Clark fans will vote for Donald Trump, a convicted felon. That's where y'all at. That's where y'all took this. And I can guarantee you by game 15 or 16, all this is going to die down because they probably going to be 3-12. They might be 4-11. Who knows? Still ain't going to make the finals. You still ain't going to make the playoffs. If they can't beat the Mystic on Friday, then y'all got problems.
Everybody arguing about Caitlin Clark, and they don't even realize how we got here. Remove your racial, remove your gender bias, and let's have a historical conversation about why we even arguing about this. 430 days ago, that is when Caitlin Clark truly burst onto the scene. Why? Because she dropped 41 points in a Final Four game versus South Carolina. They were reigning national champs. It was best team versus best player. Now, in the Elite 8 game, before beating undefeated South Carolina, what in the world did Caitlin Clark do? She had a 41-point triple-double versus Louisville. Then she faces South Carolina. Ain't no way she about to beat Dawn Staley's South Carolina Gamecocks. She does, with another 41-point game. But before that, Sweet 16 versus Colorado, she burst onto the scene with a 31-point game. Now remember, Caitlin Clark, when she beats somebody, she gives a "you can't see me" signal. So now it's April 2nd versus LSU. They beat down Iowa and they beat down Caitlin Clark. During the course of that game, Angel Reese both gives Caitlin Clark the "you can't see me" sign, and she also gave her the ring bring me sign. That is when everything burst into play, because it then became a race issue. We may not want to talk about it. We may not want to identify it, but it became a race issue because many people were saying Angel Reese was classless. Hold on now. If it wasn't classless when Caitlin Clark did it, it can't be classless when Angel Reese does it. What Caitlin did on the basketball court was tantalize our eyes, but Caitlin truly became discussed on a macro level after Angel did the "you can't see me" signal, because then it became a race issue. And when it became a race issue, even if you don't care about women's basketball, you care about the color of your skin. It took the "you can't see me" signal, it took the racial tension, but it took Caitlin Clark being a historical talent to bring us to where we are today. So if we are going to argue about Caitlin, and if we're going to argue about Angel, let's at least remember what in the world brought us here.